Proem by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Lamb. I saw a meadowland one day. The grass stood green and high, but naught appealed in any way to stay the passer-by. Till suddenly the sunlight strayed those leafy tangles through, and touched the fire on every blade a golden network grew. A million airy cobwebs gleamed so silken soft and bright that all the level lowland seemed a tracery of light. And as I watched the webs, I thought the field of life along, as slight as these so I have wrought with slender threads of song. They bind the grass and blossoms too, the bee and butterfly, and some go faintly wavering through the tender azure sky. Yet still I wait that golden glow whose fine transmuting art must smite my web of song and so reveal it to the heart. Ah, therefore thou, I pray thee, touch these frail threads I have spun with grace of sympathy, for such might light them like the sun. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Among the Trees Again by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Lamb. Aye, throb my heart. Is it not sweet to be? To breathe, to bind, by growing things once more. We did not guess before how close our life was locked in greenery. Hark, how the sparrows in the apple tree are chattering, chirping, till their tiny throats are fairly brimmed and quivering through and through with rollick notes. Good morrow, little birds. Good morrow, morrow. Oh, I would I knew some light-winged language, kindred singing words, wherein to say, this day, at last, this happy day, I come to be a neighbor unto you. Too long, we heard strange footsteps pass, harsh, strident echoes stricken out of stone, but never softened by green growing grass, or mellowed to faint, earthy undertone. And then, O heart, did we not ofttimes feel ourselves apart, alone, wrought to vague discord by some touch unknown? Did we not weary with a nameless grief in dreaming of tall clover, daisy sown, or music blown from the wind harping of some little leaf? It was not that within the city's core there dwelt no sympathies nor interests keen, no human ties to temper its fatigues. 'Twas only that we needed something more. Some note rang wrong. A foolish fancy, maybe, but still strong, that life sang sweeter snatched between the green close-lapping verdure of a fret of twigs, where all the ground was paven out of sight, and only from a far-off strip of sky my mother nature strove to speak to me. I could not hearken to her voice aright, I knew not why, but ever to mine ears some whispering tree seemed of the inmost golden soul of her, the best interpreter. So what wonder, life, that you and I, shut out from such glad confidence, should miss and grieve for this. But all this yearning will forget, for now within my window. So, by fingertips, I'll draw into my arms this dancing bow, and stroke its silky buds across my lips. Oh, generous-natured, friendly neighbor tree, weave gentle blessings in the shade and shine, and granting gracious patience to my plea, some simple lesson of your yore make mine, I pray. Oh, be a kindly teacher unto me, and I'll pour out such worshipful heart wine, not any bird that sings to you all day, or nestles to low, leafy lullaby, shall hold you in such dear observance, nay, nor love you half so tenderly as I. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Redbird by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Land. Swept lightly by the south wind, the elm leaves softly stirred, and in their pale green clusters there straightway bloomed a bird. His glossy feathers glistened with dyes as richly red as any tulip flaming from out the garden bed. But unlike the tulips, in joyous string ere long, this redbird flower unfolded a heart of golden song. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Wishing Spring by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Land. I knelt beside the fairy spring among the tasseled weeds. Far off with dreamy murmuring the wind piped through the reeds. Once, twice, the brimming cup I raised with trembling fingertips, and in its limpid crystal gazed, nor laid it to my lips. Ah me! The eager heart desires, so thronging swift they came. My spirit surged like wind-swept fires, I knew not which to name. Then all at once I quickly quaffed the shining drops below, the wish with that enchanted draught no man must ever know. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. April Morning by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Land. I lean upon the bridge's rail in idle joy and gazing down. So watch the frothy bubbles sail and bits of tangled grasses trail along the current's tawny brown. The river flows at full today, and though within the tide it pours, there grow no mocking sycamores, nor any crystal hints betray the spicewood thickets, nor the pale soft willow wands of pearly gray, whose interwoven mazes veil the fretted banks. Yet here and there, adown some swirling eddy, where a delving sunbeam shines, what mines of gleaming, streaming, liquid gold the waters hold. And so, by rapid currents rolled, in billowy swells that break and chime, in riotous tumult uncontrolled, the March flood plashes past the pier, but through its sweeping tones I hear the sweet receding murmurs rhyme the burden of the April time, and throbbing like a glad refrain, now far, now full, now far again, the refreshened breeze blows gaily, bringing pure and clear the fitful tingling cadences. But listen! Faint from out the sheer, deep borders of the morning sky, slips down the distant softened cry of shy wild geese that northward fly. It vibrates nearer and more near, and see, there, wheeling into sight, far as the vision may descry, a level-winged advancing V. They keep their swift, unswerving flight, north, north, beyond that scuttling fleece of tiny clouds, like wilder geese that join their ranks and journey too, on into the farthest blue. Then, from the boundless space above, I drop my dazzled eyes to view the soft field grass and meadow rue, the restful brown earth that I love. A trick of blinding sun, maybe, that halo on the hills may prove, and yet they are so dear to me, the golden glory that they wear is like none other anywhere, and in my heart I hold it true. Though surely, what least loving eye could wander up the river there and see aught otherwise than I, or could deny that yonder little glimpse is fair, the slender point of jutting land, where faintly burgeoning anew with rounds of downy buds, there stand a score of water-willow trees in clustered tufts, and sprinkling through across the stream, beside of these, a line of shining yellow light, and half in sight, and hidden half upon the right, by wild red sumac shrubberies, a windmill rising tall and white, slowly turning in the breeze. And then beyond, but how express, what word in any tongue conveys, the depth of dreamy tenderness, that laps and wraps and overlays the far blue hills, and spills and fills the valley with pale purple haze. Oh, what sweet syllables confess the glad heart happiness that plays through all my pulses as I gaze, and drink the beauty past all praise, the old immortal blessedness of April days. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. On Hearing the Ballad, Alan Percy, by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Land. A plaintive song, so strangely sweet and old, that all my soul within itself would fold, and gently keep so quaint a melody, that like a bird's, its note of liquid gold might oft repeat their sweetness unto me. A tale of joyless splendor long ago, of wedded lady and of loveless woe. How she, to soothe her sick heart's misery, cradled in vines her little child, and so sang of dear love beneath a greenwood tree. And through it all there runs such saddest plaint, as sweet as lutes, now murmurous, now faint, till like the far heard sighing of the sea, it sweeps in gathering passion past restraint, then breaks and croons in mournful minor key. Ah, well a day! I listen breathless, till I half believe that sorrowing singer still dreams on divinely by the whispering tree. For in your voice all tenderest heartstrings thrill, and all the woodland's marvelous minstrelsy. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. My Little Master by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Land. O little poet, winging through the sheer clear blue, is it the sky you're singing to? Or is it that afar you see some leafy laden apple tree, and half concealed and half confessed, a nest? Ah, truly now, I would I knew the happy secret of your glee, that joy wherewith you birds are blessed, redbreast. So airy and so light of wing you soar and sing. I pray, could you not softly fling, my merry minstrel, down to me some echo of that melody that spills from out your tiny bill? Some trill of all those liquid tones that ring, so full of purest poetry, that rhyme and chime and thrill until they fill these vibrant seas of azure air, whose blue tides bear their witching sweetness everywhere. O little master, heed to me, and ah, so true, so tenderly, I'll learn to sing how lovely grows this rose, till by and by, dear heart, I'll dare to touch some bolder note, maybe, some chord whence deeper music flows. Who knows? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Northmen's Song of the Pole by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Land. The roar of the seas where the freezing clouds lower, the shriek of the storm wind, the turbulent tide, the conquering currents, all vaunt of their power, and taunt with the centuries' secret they hide. Of towering icebergs and glittering flows, the sun of the midnight in luminous rings, of hopes held at bay by beleaguering snows, of man in his weakness the fierce ocean sings. Bright over the sky the aurora is red and crimson as lifeblood the snowflakes below, swift updarting streamers of fire overspread all heaven and earth with a roseate glow. Hark, hark to the rumble, the thunderous roar of the ancient ice mountains that shatter and rend, and crash with the tide dashing up on the shore, in turmoil titanic and toil without end. Oh, woe to the ship that the pitiless clutch of those crushing ice demons drags down to her doom. The path to the poles is o'erscattered with such, and deep sleep the heroes the tempests entomb. Beneath the wan moon of the long Arctic night, the frost-smitten sea stretches boundless and lone. The shores of the dead men loom spectral and white. In Helheim the death goddess waits for her own. But ho! To her hatred, the soul of the brave, he bears not who dares not her fury defy. And ho! To her giants of wind and of wave, we crave but to meet and defeat them, or die. Farewell and farewell, the anchor ropes strain, loose cables and canvas, and hasten we forth. The fire of desire quivers hot in our veins, we must sail with the gale to the north, to the north. Must speed with the blast to its ultimate goal, the path of its pinions must follow and find, the lore of the ages, the boreal pole, and the measureless halls of the House of the Wind. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. In the Mission Garden, St. Gabriel, by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Land. Oh, golden day, wherein at last, long leagues and wintry overpast, I stand beneath a sky as blue as April violets drenched in dew, and live within the dream come true. From rosy-berried pepper trees the winds blow spicy fragrances, the palms sway softly to and fro, and down below, between the glossy leaves of these, the sparkling yellow sunbeams steep the mission garden, where the bees are hoarding deep of heliotrope that hangs the wall as for some princely festival, while white and tall, bright lily bloom in grace untold, and those rare roses passing all in splendor, called the cloth of gold. O heart, my heart, throb high and fast with rapture, for how couldst thou know amid the far-off frost and snow, where all the skies are overcast, and shrill and chill the north winds blow, how couldst thou know December heavens anywhere could show such rare, such tender, and divinest guise, that earth and air could weave such strange, restless spell, as this that folds us flower-wise, as sweet St. Gabriel. St. Gabriel! The holy words fall softly as music on the ear. I think they are as sweet to hear as any song of summer birds, and hearkening them, and while in clear, pure quivering notes, the ancient bells begin to chime, in shadowy wise before me floats a vision of the vanished time. I see again the little band from sunny Spain, those godly ones, and full of grace, and without stain, who, heeding neither toil nor pain, desiring men of every race, that such might see sweet Jesus' face, and that at length the Lord might reign among all people, even so, sought in the wilderness this place, and consecrated long ago. And gazing on the sacred pile, their hands upreared in loving zeal, my heart goes forth to them the while, those faithful fathers true and leal. How oft along each cloistered aisle they counted o'er and o'er their beads, while in this garden unawares the fragrant flowers sowed their seeds, and richly as the flowers the prayers bore fruit in gentle deeds. In arched embrasures lifted high against the sky, the bells in clear-cut beauty show, and loftier still, surmounting all, and blessing thus the ancient wall, a cross, and on its summit lo, a slender bird with purely breast sits peacefully at rest. Ah me, ah me! I know not why this little bird with folded wings, the cross, the tender azure sky, their pure exceeding beauty brings swift tears and smites my heart, till I am almost fain to hide mine eyes for very pain. Yet though thus for a little space I bow my face, nor any grace of rose or lily can I see. I know the while that memory, clear-eyed and free, upon my heart is graving deep, each least sweet loveliness to keep through all the coming years for me. And it shall be, in afterwhiles, when far away, when wintry skies are bleak and gray, and no birds sing, I shall grow glad remembering the sweetness of this scarlet day. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Dream Echoes by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Lamb. A little while ago I caught, in cadence pure and clear, a waft of faintest music wrought upon my inner ear, a part of some elusive theme, whose sweetly solemn air my soul has hearkened in a dream, I know not when nor where. I only know my heartstrings stirred with strange forgotten pain, that crept upon me as I heard that unremembered strain. A sense of loneliness untold, so boundless, deep, unknown, I blindly reached my hands to hold your palms within my own. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
April Contradictions by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Caro. I watch the little pear buds break and slip their silky sheaths, and flowers on the maples make 1,000 russet wreaths. Then something blinds my sight, and I am full of grief, yet know not why. A rosy purple half betrays the wealth the lilacs fold. The torches of the tulips blaze in flames of red and gold. Peach boughs are blossoming above, but oh, the vague heartache thereof. The blue sky wears in gentle wise its loveliness again, all April sunshine, yet mine eyes are brimmed with April rain. The presage of sweet days to be, so strange a sadness stirs in me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
A Plea by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Lamb. 2 years ago, it is 2 years today, it seems a score, since that sweet, bloomy May when on the barren sea you sailed away. The peach trees then were in a rosy glow, and down below, the tulip buds had just begun to show. And yet, dear heart, I know through all the heavens smiled in tender blue, it shone not so to you. Sorrow had hooded all your skies in gray, and when these dancing bows put on their gay bright Maytime bravery, they only grieved a heart bereaved. And though glad robins sang to you to stay, and by the stream the first sweet flags unfurled seemed nature's truce to sorrow, every way held warring memories wherewith to gainsay and send you wandering over half the world. Ah, well do I remember how my prayers went with you, dear, and followed unawares, so speeding over, winging far and wide, about the path wherein your ship should ride, and pleading heaven that most gentle airs and tempered tide might bear you safely to the farther side. Then, when I knew your voyage over, then, for surely now, at last, I may confess, now that I have outgrown its bitterness, though sometimes I can almost feel again, remembering those days, that keen distress, yes, jealousy it was, not any less, that constantly wrapped all my thoughts of you beyond the sea. I feared lest other lives more large and wide than mine has been, might day by day divide and win your life and love away from me. And I was fearful for dear nature too. I could not bear to think that heaven anywhere should wear a hue more deeply, more divinely blue than this home sky that we together knew, or that there grew strange buds or bloom to make the earth more fair. A most unworthy fancy, it is true, since nature is but nature everywhere. The same kind mother in whatever land, so too, maybe, could we but understand. All hearts and loves are only as part of one great heart, whose universal pulses so expand, that any lesser life that therein beats should no more dream of this word jealousy than yonder shining flakes of bloom should be jealous, forsooth, of the whole hawthorn tree, that is but one with their own mass of sweets. And so, at last, through blind, unreasoning grief beyond belief, brightly within my heart there did uprise love's loyalty, rebuking in this wise. Has she not spoken oft and oft again these three plain words, I love you? Wherefore then what right have you to deem mere distance could her love undo, to fancy aught exists that could estrange her heart from yours, wherein there is no change, or judge her own to be less simply true? And then in shame I swiftly put aside all faintest questioning, thenceforth to abide in trust as pure, as boundless, and as wide as still sea deeps, unvexed of any tide. Nay, I have learned to cherish rightly too all light and life that minister to you. I hold most dear whatever these things brings you smallest cheer. And day by day my ceaseless prayer is this, that from the changeful many-colored grace of time and place, your grief may come to weave a chrysalis round its dead hopes, till waking by and by, it shall find wings to bear it to the sky. But dear, God knows I would not do you wrong, nor touch one heartstring if it not be strong. But oh, so long it seems you have been gone so long. The feather grass is growing green and high, and piping gaily in an azure throng, the bluebirds spangle all the air with song. Again aflame the rosy peach boughs burn. Cannot you, too, return? On slender stems the nodding windflowers blow, and bloodroots grow, where high the hedges fling their lacing frets along the lanes, while softly sifting through tall plumy weeds and silver spider nets, the yellow sunbeams filter down below, until I know not any fair Italian sky is blue as is our earth today with violets. Nor do I think that even that Syrian sun you watched ride high above Damascus' tower, in purer light or richer splendor, glowed than any one of these most lovely golden dawns of ours, that wake the birds along the river road. The green ravines are newly fringed with fern. From out the brake a robin redbreast calls. The stream repeats at rippling intervals, can you not now return? But what avail in striving to compare earth's endless beauties, whether east or west? All lands are lovely, and I am aware that unto me this little spot seems fair, more rare than all the gathered glories of the rest, because I love it best. And so in truth I feel that chief I plead a selfish need. I too, like nature, long to greet the spring. Indeed I think I never have confessed, nor have you guessed, how much of May it is your gift to bring. You never knew how wintry was the cloud of haunting sadness that will oft-times shroud my innermost being, and creep up to chill the warmer currents of my life, until, in knowing you, I felt a pulse like that sweet, joyous thrill that breaks the buds when all the skies are blue. The bitter storms of grief I did not fear when you were near. But sometimes now I have grown half afraid that unforgotten frost of pain that used to wrap my nature will again invade the singing streams your April touch has loosened. Spring's subtler spells alone I cannot learn. Ah, will you not return? Yet, if it chance that prayed-for peace you sought be not at length to full perfection wrought, if still in vain time strives with memory, then, dear, I would fain let be as naught all I have uttered, and I will refrain from any whispered wish or word or thought that might to you in any wise complain. However much my eager heart may miss, how much for you my very soul may yearn, I will seek patience, confident in this, that sometime surely love shall conquer pain, and then, dear heart, I know you will return. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Sea Dreams by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. I sat upon the mossy rocks beside the southern sea, while overhead the summer clouds were drifting lazily. I watched their purple shadows trail across the sea and hide within the hollows of the waves that rode the rising tide. Sometimes the little flakes of foam dashed up in twinkling spray, and out along their silver paths the ships sailed far away. As through the sun I followed them with straining, eager eyes, from out the sparkling waves I saw a shining vision rise. It seemed a ghostly castle white with battlement and tower, that hung on the horizon's verge by some unearthly power. I saw its spectral turrets gleam as white as ivory, and wondered who the wizard king that reigned upon the sea. But while with breathless gaze I watched this castle, by and by it vanished in the underworld, beyond the sea and sky. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Ideals by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by D. Caleb Forecastle. I would that I could weave a song as airy and as light as are the roundelays that throng within my heart to-night. I would that I might set to tune the beauty of this hour, when like a primrose bud the moon breaks into golden flower. And all the happy lilting notes, beyond divinest words, that nestle in the downy throats of little sleeping birds. The breeze-born scent of mignonette that in the garden grows, where strung like pearls the dew is wet upon the briar rose. These things it is whose voices I have sought for overlong, yet still their cunning tones defy the artifice of song. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. To the Winged Victory of Samothrace by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by D. Caleb Forecastle. Thou wonder of the warrior prow, supreme immortal victory, before thy majesty I bow, and all my soul flames forth to thee. Within the shadow of thy wings 1,000 voices sound for me, in far tumultuous murmurings I catch the echo of the sea, the salty surge that rolls more near, till loud and clear, in mighty thunder tones I hear the rush of old Aegean tides, the bright white waves that from the shore sweep seaward with unceasing roar. In dawning skies the day-star guides. Across the surf the seabirds call, whilst white and tall, with swift sails swelling over all, the shield-hung warship rides. And like the heaven-born dreams that soar from hero spirits eagle-wise, and urge to deeds of great emprise, and fly before the eager throbbing hearts that know no goal but victory, even so, above the restless breakers' roar, upon the high cliff evermore, thou standest with bright wings outspread, in all thy freshly wrought godlyhead, beloved of the conqueror. And as I gaze I seem to trace the features of thy fearless face, the matchless marvel of its grace, that like the star across the seas of Samothrace shone forth afar. I hear the southern winds intone, waltzed backward blown, thy trailing garments fluttering, from out the slender girdle cling about thy limbs, and so confess their lines of perfect loveliness. Then suddenly o'er everything great shouts and martial echoes ring. I see thee storm-like rushing past, thy hand upon the carven mast, and hearken whilst thy proud lips fling the loud triumphal trumpet blast. O glorious image, what if time hath smitten with ungentle touch thy perfect beauty, still sublime? Thou art a conqueror, and still all men unite to name thee such. Before thee all my pulses thrill, old hopes and dreams awake in me. O Victory, lead, lead but thou mine eager will. I follow fast and far until some day my ship shall harbor thee. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
As to the Summer Air, the Rose, by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Caro. As to the summer air, the rose pours forth her perfume all the day, for every careless wind that blows to scatter far away. So gives my heart to thee the rare, fine fragrance of its sweetest thought, and thou art heedless as the air, whereto the rose is naught. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
A Wood Fancy by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Lamb. The mandrakes lift, like little mosques, their domes between the vines, and butterflies for worshippers are flocking to their shrines. And from tall tapering mullein towers and minarets of green, the honey-bee muezzins drone to the bloodroot buds between. That pilgrim, wise along the road, come trooping to the light, in pale green caftans closely wound and turbans spotless white, while all the way with budding things is tufted thicker than the praying mask the Persians weave in the streets of Ispahan. And listen, with a lordly note, like joyous burst of drums, in gorgeous gown of gold and black the Oriole Sultan comes. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Thrush by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Lamb. The creamy dogwood branches, the rosy redbud trees, the drifts of sweet wild plum bloom overhung by honey bees, the gleaming buckeye blossoms the south wind blew apart. Oh, all the woods awaking, they overfill my heart. Then clear from out a thicket there ran that golden note, that flute from none but only the tawny thrush's throat. So charged with all sweet secrets the April has to tell, I bowed my head and hearkened, enchanted by its spell. Till presently that magic, heart-melting melody drew all my soul to meet it in sudden ecstasy. My spirit found its pinions in blessed bird-like birth, and knew the joyous passion that thrilled through all the earth. The while the thrush was singing I heard the violets stir, and through the dreamy woodlands the breaking buds confer. I half divined the glories of all the springs to be, when oh, the song was silent, the thrush had flown, ah me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Montezuma by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Lamb. On a lofty mountain summit in a tawny desert land, lo, a mighty human profile, but not hewn by human hand, in the living rock forever, looming dark, majestic, grand. O'er its outline heaven fronting, when the dawn's first radiance streams, with its rosy touch that tender, then this face of granite seems as a sleeper's unawakened, from the thrall of peaceful dreams. But when the western heavens sink down the setting sun blood red, then the mountain mists that mantle cover close that quiet head, as men draw a pall of purple round their kingly head. And the stars, like lighted tapers, flicker forth in golden rows from the heaven's holy altar, whilst the night wind, as it blows, seems to chant a solemn requiem for the passing soul's repose. Head of royal Montezuma, so the ancient legends tell, Montezuma, granite-shrouded by some great enchanter's spell, lie lordly by the borders of the land he loved so well. But in silence unrevealing, still that calm face fronts the sky, heeding neither tears nor laughter, nor if sun or storm go by, keeping still its primal counsel in repose serene and high. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Between Seasons by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Caro. The cherry trees are haunted by hordes of robber jays, and warmer winds are fanning the poppies to a blaze. And loosed in fitful flurries the sweet syringes fall, to lie like little snowdrifts against the garden wall. Upon the laden lattice, in softly rounding shapes, a wealth of tiny clusters are growing into grapes. Hey-ho, a drowsy shimmer enfolds the sunny hours, and humming-birds are hidden in scarlet trumpet flowers. The tenderness of springtime is almost overpast, but oh, the gracious summer, it comes at last. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
A Little Love Song by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Land. My heart was like a sunless, cold, unlovely land of ice and snow, wherein no blessed buds unfold, nor singing waters flow. Then all at once the April skies laughed in your look, and at that hour my spirit melted, torrent-wise, my life broke into flower. Oh, dearest heart, I had not guessed what marvel of immortal seeds lay hidden deep within my breast, beneath its barren weeds. But now I know, the glory of the flower of love, the joyous splendor of its glow, the subtle pain thereof. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. June by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Land. High overhead, by summer breezes sped, from every latest burgeoned bough the last spring petals fall, and red, 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 along the garden bed, the poppy plants are holding now their crimson carnival. Clear, sweet, and strong, I hear the robin's song, and catch the merry carolling of some bold bobolink, and phlox flowers throng the garden ways along, while peonies and roses bring their pageantries of pink. White, gold, and green, the lily spires are seen, and hollyhocks in stately rows with tufted buds are set. Tall, in between, the growing sunflowers lean, and thick the sweet alyssum shows among the mignonette. Ho, truant May, have you then gone astray, unwitting that in realms of June return were no avail? Ah, well a day, so wings the spring away, but summer's ever over soon, but June, sweet June, all hail. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Song of Thought by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Land. Oh, the ships have sails for the swelling gales, the falcon flies in the wake of the wind, In the speed of the steed of the Bedouin breed, the blood leaps high to the hoof-beats lead. As the leagues are left behind, but what care I for the birds that fly, or all the vessels that sail the sea, the blasts that blow till the trees bend low, or the barbs of Araby? I spring to birth with the dust of the earth, yet span the heaven from pole to pole, or flashing far as the farthermost star, I know no barrier, bound nor bar, to hold from my boldest goal. The storm's red spark as it cleaves the dark, with my viewless wings it cannot keep pace. More fleet than light my measureless flight, to the starless ends of space. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. In the Moonlight by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Land. The moonbeams filter softly through the leaves upon the linden tree, and as I sit alone, dear heart, my spirit yearns for thee. Yet in some gracious wise tonight we do not seem far worlds apart. I reach my empty arms and dream I fold thee to my heart. I close my brimming eyes and see the strange sweet beauty of thy smile, and fancy that our palms are met in loving clasp the while. In soft, clear tones I seem to hear the long-hushed voice I loved so well. I tremble lest a breath should break this moment's happy spell. O brother mine, could it be true? Thy own dear presence hovers near to comfort with this heavenly peace thy little sister here. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Bindweed by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Land. Along the lane I idly pass, unheeding where the footpath goes, and loiter through the ripe wild grass that down the open roadway grows in feathery, tall tufts that rise in filmy tangles, misty-wise. The grass that when the south wind blows shines out and shows shots through the silver light and rose, and tiny gold and violet seeds that quiver off each gleaming stem and powder all the wayside weeds, and like a glory cover them. With eager palms I gently press soft sheaves of it against my lips in sheer delight, and so caress and fondle with light fingertips, and watch its beauty when the bright, clear spears of light pierce through its slender leaves, and smite their rose and purple, till my sight is dazzled with its loveliness. In verdant nets along the way, the tendrils of a wild grapevine through elder thickets intertwine, and poising lightly on a spray of fruited bramble stems, where shine close clustering berries, red as wine, a little thistle bird, still gay in April's yellow plumage, clings with airy grace, and slowly swings, and lifts his wings in dainty, drowsy flutterings. They flicker like bright flakes of gold, and fan his body, small and slim, while lovingly the winds enfold, and summer's heart broods over him. The sky is softer than the blue of cornflower buds beneath the dew, and down below, upon the marshy meadow swales, the bindweed weaves its rosy veils, where thick the blowing rushes grow among the tasseled reeds and rue. And up between the mossy rails it lightly climbs, and clambers through the growing corn and barley too, and winds the fallow weeds and trails along the creek where the cowslips grew. O lavish stems that fondly fling close clasps about the earth, and cling in wreaths of fragrant flowering, even as ye do to that dear soil wherein ye spring, so does my love cleave thereunto, and so my full heart blossoms bind the bright midsummer fields, and find sweet fellowships with everything. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Summer Shower by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Caro. The air is shot with spangling drops, but heedless of the rain, the sun laughs through a silver veil upon the golden grain. And lightly arching up the east in faintly pencilled lines that throb and flush to tinted bars, a double rainbow shines. It seems to touch the fragrant earth till, tangled in the breeze, it winds a film of irised light about the distant trees. In frothy clusters down the road the blooming elders lean, with dripping buds that shine like pearls within a sea of green. And heaped around them, pink as shells, the roses are in flower, while earth and sky are freshly keyed to sweetness by the shower. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
At Night by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. Come, draw more near, clasp hands with me. Ah, close and closer still, the night spreads to infinity, and through my heart a sudden chill. I pray loose not your loving hold. A fear, a loneliness untold, smites sharply till mine eyes o'erfill. Nor have I strength nor stress of will to set my spirit free. The cold, the darkness, and the dread immensity of space, the great wan moon whose ghostly face for ages has been dead, the weird lights wheeling overhead, the unknown worlds that onward roll, in endless wanderings ever led, that find no goal. The spectral mists that overspread with pallid light the lesser stars, the lurid glow that glimmers red across the front of Mars. Oh, dearest heart, when all is said, I am afraid, and from the whole wide waste of worlds I hide my sight, and from the boundless night. The ancient mystery of the skies, their silent depths from pole to pole, the void, the vastness terrifies. Oh, let me rather search your eyes, and with your sweet, warm touch disperse this terror of the universe that strikes into my soul. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Home Fields by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Deb K. The fields are full of sunlight, and leafy golden green, and misty purple shadows are flitting in between. The flaky elder flowers are drenched with honey dew, and all the distant woodlands stand veiled in tender blue. Half seen between green thickets of grapevine and wild rose, in twinkling swirls of silver the lazy river flows, while down the grassy roadside the milkweed balls are bright, and waving prince's feather is tipped with snowy white. Ah, ever dearest homeland, 'tis here my spirit sings, and as my heart caresses the sweet familiar things, such rare midsummer magic distilled through all the air, I think these fields are fairer than any anywhere. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Sympathy by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Deb K. Tonight a little child lies dead. I never saw its face. I try to fancy now instead its lines of baby grace. And for the sake of her who weeps these lonely watches through, so wakefully my spirit keeps a weary vigil too. 1,000 thoughts appeal to me in close besieging crowd, but through them all I only see a little snow-white shroud. Nor may I set dull grief at naught, however I am fain, since when the heartstrings are distraught, the will must strive in vain. Ah me, there breaks the dawning sun, in golden light serene, yet still I mourn this little one, whom I have never seen. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
In Summer Deeps by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Caro. Through sunny spaces overhead a grey hawk's lazy pinions spread, and poppies open wide and red where golden harvests grew. In rosy wreaths upon the swales and fallow fields the bindweed trails, and late-sown buckwheat swiftly pales to blossoming anew. The pond within the pasture land reflects the cattle as they stand in depths of dipping sedges and of tangled meadow rue. In silver splashes through the green fine filmy spider-webs are seen, and crumpled cockle-flowers between are rifts of tender blue. On stately stalks of standing corn a wealth of cresting plumes are borne, and tawny tasselled tufts adorn the ripened barley too. So, steeping nature far and wide, deep sweeps the flood of summertide, till all things that therein abide are richly tinctured through. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Song by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Deb K. Oh, fresh from off the ocean, the salt wind riots through the fragrant firs and bay leaves and dripping honey dew. The mornings on the moorland, and flashing far away, I glimpse the foam-white seagulls and feathers of the spray. Oh, hasten, let us hasten, the tide sings up the sand, the song my heart has hearkened across long leagues of land. So far, far have I journeyed, such weary ways, O sea! Breathe, breathe me breath of life now, and steep the soul of me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Impatient by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Deb K. Some day, when summer's overpast, and loosed by frost and golden brown these greenly clinging leaves drift down, when shrill winds hush the robin redbreast and the thrush, when all the skies are overcast with racks of rain, so chill and gray, not any burgeoning may be, some day. Across far foreign lands and vast unbound spaces of the sea, so homeward, homeward, journeying fast, at last she will come back to me. I reckon up, in daily sum, the time until that scarlet date. I think the fall will never come, so wearily I wait. The hours seem leaguing to belate the days that never crept so slow, and yet I used to love the summer so. But now my heart may only fret and pray for it to go, and yearning so, with lashes wet, I half forget the greenery on every bough, how red the poppies are, and how, amid the tufted mignonette, the scented south winds gently blow. I heed them not, I only know time never seemed so long as now. I search the azure skies in vain, no hint of autumn rain, no hint of fall from bluebirds, nor green fields of growing grain. Then idly reckoning as before, I strive anew to make less far that glad date on the calendar, to number less the days that are, the changes fixed for sun and star. The moons yet must wax and wane, thus evermore. With fresh impatience o'er and o'er I count the hours, yet still am fain to tell them over once again. Oh, hasten, hasten, autumn days! Sear swift this dewy summer green. I am grown weary with delays. Speed, speed! Bring bitter winds and chill, nor heed the mellow sweets between. What if the dead leaves strew the ways, and southward all the songs take wing? Despite all cheerless frosts that be, my eager heart awaits the spring, so knowing she will surely bring the birds and May to me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Rain on the River by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Deb K. The skies are gray, where far and wide, beyond the water willows, the marshes spread their emerald tide of blossom-crested billows. And on the vague horizon's rim, in vaporous purple masses, the distant woods show soft and dim across the lush green grasses. An east wind stirs the ivory balls upon the button bushes, and hark! A hidden rainbird calls from out the blowing rushes. Within the yonder spray of rosy mallow flowers turns faint and pale, till not more gray the cloudy heaven lowers. And all the birches tender green and ashen hue is growing, while mottled with a silver sheen the ruffled waves are flowing. Then softly through the forest leaves, that turn and toss and quiver, the rain with murmurous cadence weaves a roundel in the river. It dots the waves with denting pearls, it gleams and streams and twinkles, it sweeps and sinks in silvery swirls, and rings and sings and tinkles. The clustering sedges dip and sway, till, after fitful failing, the sun bursts gaily through the gray, and craggy clouds are sailing, where, southward in a brilliant sky as light as any feather, the little moon curves white and high in token of fair weather. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Over the Sierra by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Deb K. From out of the depths of the abyss, faint echoes of a torrent's roar, o'er crags whence lordly eagles soar, to poise above the precipice. A dizzy pathway, sheer and steep, a startled catching of the breath, and, bearing menaces of death, a loosened snowdrift's sudden sweep. Then, blown from out the upper sky, keen, fitful gusts of icy air, so light, so tenuous and rare, the heart leaps strangely swift thereby, the white moon floating in the calm, still ether space, so near, it seems, to grasp his eager childhood dreams. One need but thither reach his palm. A sense of majesties and mights, an exaltation born of these, the summit's awful silences, a glimpse of Godhead from the heights. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
On the Prairie by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Carew. Across the dewy prairie the morning wind is borne, beyond the new-mown hayfields and through the tasselled corn. Upon the silver maples it lifts the swinging leaves, and steals a subtile sweetness from rows of golden sheaves. Within the sunny orchard the harvest apples fall, while from the tossing branches the saucy jaybirds call. In crinkled fringy clusters the scarlet poppies burn, where, softly opening, eastward the yellow sunflowers turn. And nibbling in the garden between the cherry trees I see a robber rabbit among the pink sweet peas. While with a fitful fanning the lazy windmill swings, about the bloomy peaches a robin redbreast sings. And in the far horizon there dwells such tender hue, these azure cornflower blossoms are not so sweet and blue. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
By the Kankakee by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Lamb. Beneath the forest trees I lie, and watch the deep blue summer sky, and count the white cranes floating by on level wings. And in the undergrowth I hear a bittern softly treading near, while through the willows sweet and clear a wood thrush sings. And flashing, plashing close to me, with murmurous melting melody, the swirling crystal Kankakee flows deep and swift through liquid tints and tones untold of topaz, turquoise, bronze, and gold, that in its lucent depths unfold and drift and sift, till down among the pearly shells a wealth of changeful color dwells, and like a string of silver bells the ripples ring. Through trailing water weeds that raise their tangled yellow blossom sprays, where in a green and golden maze tall rushes swing. And far across the glassy tide the marshes shimmer low and wide, where birds and bees and wild things hide in reedy grass, whose wavering evanescent hues pale darken, change, and interfuse, till my enchanted senses lose all things that pass, and only feel an exquisite, glad throb of light and life complete, while like some subtle essence sweet, the wilderness, the perfumes warm of wave and wood, the silence of the solitude, all merge and mingle in my mood, till half I guess the secrets that the winds impart, and draw so near to nature's heart, I feel her inmost pulses start, while happily I sink upon her fragrant breast, like yonder thrush within its nest, and deep entrancing sense of rest steals over me. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Fisher Folk by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. I know a little village where fisher folk abide, the dark pine woods behind it, the southern sea beside. There rosy pink crape myrtles in every dooryard grow, and through the glossy live oaks the salt sea breezes blow. At break of day the fishers sail out to sea to reap the harvest that they sowed not, the harvest of the deep. Then when their nets are emptied they set their sails for land, to heap the shining fishes upon the shining sand, where little barefoot children await them eager eyed, and play the while with sea shells cast upward by the tide. And all seem so content there, from worldly care so free, I would that I could find it, the secret of the sea. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Cactus Land by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Land. Land of strange, unearthly beauty, tawny desert over me. Thou hast cast the deep enchantment of some subtle sorcery. These thine endless barren reaches, where no fruitful harvests grow, unto some bring nameless heartache, but to me thou dost not so. Here, where all the air seems newly from the springs of life distilled, every breath is like a beaker with rare, sparkling rapture filled. And my heart exults and glories in the strange, compelling power of enchanting, changeful color that is thy supremest dower. Joy to me thine ever cloudless sky of purest turquoise hue, and thy rosy mountain ranges wrapped in pale translucent blue. Beautiful the rainbow ether shifting, shimmering evermore, in diaphanous dazzling splendors over all thy boundless floor. Where the low-bowed silver sage bush softly tufts the tawny land, and the tropic Spanish bayonet clusters tall on every hand. While for leagues and leagues the cactus, child of sun and sand and bare rainless regions, lifts its columns through the rare, transparent air. Wild and splendid in thy freedom, unsubdued as is the sea, from the first, O lordly desert, thou hast drawn my heart to thee. Desolate thou art and silent, barren both of fruit and flower, yet I love thine arid grandeur that defies man's utmost power. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Last Survivor from the Lifeboat by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. Beneath his pillow, hid away from careless sight, the nurses say, and safe from any stranger's view, as miser might some treasure wear, so does he guard with jealous care a baby shoe. And evermore, by day and night, with burning eyeballs, fever bright, this wan survivor of the sea scans each blank closing wall in turn, in dim endeavor to discern if cell there be. And then the weary sigh that slips, surprising from those parching lips, no heart may hear, nor bleed therefore, as with hot tears that fall like rain he soothes a dying baby's pain, and o'er croons snatches of soft lullabies to empty arms held cradle wise. O human heartbreak, love, and grief, God pity him in his distress, E'en as the sea was pitiless beyond belief. God comfort as with straining breath, Unheeding either life or death, Yet still with faint unwitting smile His fingers fondly seek and fold The little sea stained shoe, and hold and stroke the while. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Cascade Ravine by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Land. From off the traveled road that lay between wide fields of wheat and corn, an old gate, gray and weather-worn, led down a shady woodland way. One scarce might trace the narrow path, so green it was and overgrown with springtime's seeded aftermath. Tall grasses that had never known the mower's scythe or sickled scath, and rosy mayweed lightly sown wherever the summer winds had blown, and all their tangled stems the red sweet clover blossoms overspread. Near by, through scented, leafy vales of wreathing vines, in dewy, dense green underwood, a brood of quails sped swiftly past the ragged rails that tilted off a mossy fence, and over it on airy wing a robin paused in glad content where budding elder bushes leant, and brambles clambered flowering. Then, suddenly, a low, sweet sound rose faintly quivering on the breeze, and all that blossom-studded ground seemed charged with murmurous mysteries, as if all rarest forest keys in dreamful chords divinely blent sang forth from some sweet instrument, while pulsing through with rhythmic beat in slumbrous melodies there went the soft susurrus of the trees, the wind that wandered through the wheat, and all the changeful strings of these. And as I listened, marveling where those light liquid tones might be, forgetting all and everything save that enchanting minstrelsy, I wandered slowly through the wood, till all at once the parted green revealed its secret, for I stood upon the verge of a ravine, wherein the sunbeams broke between tall rustling hemlock boughs, and bright as burnished silver in the light, a tiny stream ran tinkling through, while hidden somewhere out of sight a little spring made music too. The shining water slipped and slipped adown the mossy rocks, and dripped from off fine fringing ferns in drops of endless threaded pearls that tipped the tasseled sedge and alder tops with flickering light. And then it sipped a drowsy draught of sun, and dipped beneath small clustering buds, and hid among lush marigolds, and slid between tall serried ranks of reeds, and stroked their little leaves, and lipped the flower-spangled jewel weeds. Then, speeding suddenly amid faint shimmering spray, it lightly tripped across white pebbly sand, and stripped the marsh's flowers gold, and fled, half seen, a splash of silver through the green. And all the while that music sweet kept soft murmuring at my feet, as down the rocks in ceaseless streams the limpid cascades poured, and still the slumberous light in yellow beams bathed the green hemlock boughs, until I seemed to lose all waking will, and all my soul was lulled to dreams, where through there floated, drowsy-wise, bright glints of bird wings, gracious gleams of tender sunlit summer skies, and fleet, sweet visions of the rare, deep shadowy hearts the forest bear. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Foreboding by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Caro. The scarlet briars trailed across the grave I journeyed far to see. Upon the stone, half hid in moss, "Prepare for death and follow me." The birds flew southward down the sky. Upon a golden linden tree the leaves that fluttered seemed to sigh, "Prepare for death and follow me." My father's father slept below, so dreamless deep and silently. I spelled the message soft and slow, "Prepare for death and follow me." Ah me, 'twas years ago the birds fled swift o'er that far golden tree, and wherefore now come back these words, "Prepare for death and follow me." End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
In Late September by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Lamb. Among the hardy marigolds the spicy gillyflower unfolds, and in the elm a catbird scolds with saucy outspread wings. To mellow sweets the pippins speed, the sunflower discs are brown with seed, and round about them finches feed in clinging yellow rings. The latest poppy fires are dead, but bright as blossoms overhead. In shining sheaves of bronze and red the frost-tipped pear leaves show, while from their branches blackbirds sing or break into noisy chattering, and slender silken cobwebs string the tall grass down below. Along the uplands faintly sing, across the fallow fields between, the winter wheat grows bravely green despite the coming cold, and studding all the stubbled ground in tasseled shocks the corn is bound, the ripened ears heaped close around in piles of purest gold. To smoky wreaths along the way the newly kindled brush heaps blaze, and filmy veils of purple haze mesh all the amber air. Among the fleeces of the sheep the yellow sunbeams softly creep, and sweet contentment, wide and deep, rests gently everywhere. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Sunny Noon by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Caro. The rose trees and the barberries are strung with coral beads, and fitful breezes lightly sift the ripened poppy seeds. Still, heedless of the nipping frost, along the garden bed the white and purple gillyflowers their spicy fragrance shed. And weaving richest tapestries upon the lattice frame, the woodbine laces in and out, in gold and rose and flame. Along the wall the grapevines trace their brown and twisted frets, and all the trailing clematis is hung with soft aigrettes. Through fringes that the larches wave the sky shows fair and blue, and somewhere from beneath the eaves I hear the pigeons coo. The glory of the noonday sun pervades the dreamy air, and the sweet heart of beauty throbs in music everywhere. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Golden Wedding by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Dana Trey. MyMagicBookshelf.blogspot.com. More sweet than all the buds that blow where summer's rarest roses grow, more splendid than white lily spires or shining scarlet poppy fires, love's fragrant flower, even so, the blossom of the heart's desires. And richer than all fields enfold, or all earth's burdened branches hold, than any autumn vintage red, or yellow sheaves new harvested, love's ripened fruit of mellow gold, the sum of life when all is said. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Early November by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Lamb. Oh, the sweetness of the jangle of the sheep bells in the tangle of wild witch hazel bushes and the spreading redbud trees. Ah, the silence when it ceases, but the beauty of the fleeces, and the soft eyes peering at me through the woodbine lattices. and beyond them, and the network of the dogwood, and the fretwork of the interlacing grapevines, and across the meadowland, I can see the color showing, where the winter wheat is growing, with the corn encamped about it like a plumed protecting band, while among the many-seeded tufts of russet weeds, unheeded, truant ducks so idly twinkling through the yellow stubble field, their white feathers like the glosses of the shining silver bosses that adore the tawny luster of an olden, golden shield. In long loops from off the hedges, trilling downward to the edges of the wayside grass and clover leaves, fine cobweb threads are wound, fairy clues that lead my eager, errant fancy to beleaguer some concealed, enchanted chamber in the richly covered ground, till the sun begin the lighting of his western fires, that smiting through the orchard boughs are splintered into spears of ruddy flame, an irradiating splendor that transfigures all the slender little leafless twigs and branches with a glory without name. Oh, I know the year is going, neither reaping time nor sowing will restore the tender beauty of its blossoms that are dead. Yet I cherish all their sweetness in the ripeness and completeness of the gold crimson fruitage that my heart has harvested. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Wherefore Wings by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Sylvester Lan. Hi-oh, sparrow, reckless of the rain, when chill the cheerless wind grows, chirping might and main. Is it not then when the rose blows again? Beating, sleeting on your draggled coat, surely 'tis enough to drown any happy note nestling in that downy brown little throat. Ah me, sparrow, had I but your power, think you in the freezing sleet I would waste an hour? I'd sing my sweetest to a sweet orange flower. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Wintry Tints by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Dana Trey. mymagicbookshelf.blogspot.com. The sky is like an opal, and the horizon's ring is yellow like a band of gold to hold so rich a thing. The wheat fields are as fleecy as any cloud that blows, but tawny tufts of standing corn prick lightly through the snows. Beside the drift-bound windmill, a pearly shadow plays in tones of tender violet and vague elusive grays, and tinged with quiet olive the hedges fine and bare, whose thorny masses down the road an alien softness wear. Oh, subtile chords of color are fingered by the frost, though touched and tuned to colder key, no grace of earth is lost. For see, a deep red ruby the opal heaven grows, and yonder pool of ice is one great golden-hearted rose. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Perfect Friendship by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. There is a garden so divinely fair that in its magic bound, surpassing sweet the golden buds, so Persian songs repeat, spring forth immortal in enchanted air. But ah, a close there is, more heavenly rare, where cherished warm within the heart's retreat, love's whitest lilies burgeon to complete, and fragrant flowering, lovely past compare. O dearest friend, such lilies have I found within my heart, undreamed of but for thee. Nor any fabled buds of genies ground are sweeter in their immortality. When thou art near, like notes of happy birds, my thoughts uprise in songs that need no words. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
January Thaw by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Caro. The brook has broken through its glass, and where the snows were drifted round tangled blades of last year's grass, the yellow sun is sifted. Uncovered by the melting night and warm deceiving daytime, the myrtle bed is green and bright as in the midst of Maytime. I almost fancy that I hear the hum of bees in clover, and from the maples glad and clear the first red robin lover. A mock spring laughs in mocking skies, "O little buds, be wary!" And masking in sweet April's guise, the youthful year makes merry. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Morning on the Mountain by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. Upon the gray crags, steep and sheer, the columbine's gold tassels swing, and windflowers cling. Where lightly poised the mountain deer drink in dewy atmosphere, in long deep draughts of sun and spring, from haunts that know no hunter's snare, the hermit thrush and wood dove wing, whilst through green openings squirrels fare, and here and there great silvery moths go fluttering. Along the valley, in a trail of purple light, the mist clouds sail, and soft and pale as wreaths of newly risen smoke, they wrap the red wood trees and veil the topmost crests of pine and oak, and balsam boughs and juniper, where through the west winds faintly stir the underwood, and gently stroke the tall young ferns, and smooth the fur of countless happy forest folk. Wild little hearts that throb unknown save to the fondling winds alone, bright eyes that sparkle free of fear, oh, earth is sweet and life is dear. Here in these forests, still your own, in primal peace, this many a year, God keep you here. Here where across the waking lands young willows wave their bloomy wands, whilst up the heights and far away the pine trees climb in singing bands, and feathery spruces surge and sway and clap their cones like little hands, for gladness of the day. Up, up they clamber on still, the tenuous air smites keen and chill, and far winds blow from leagues of everlasting snow. And then the mountain buds, more bold, their sheaths unfold, and light their golden fires, and glow with flame unquenched by frost or cold. Whilst o'er them, shimmering high against the sky, a glittering crystal radiance streams, wherein the mountain floats and gleams through frosty fleeces, till it seems that some great morning star, instead of earth, hangs trembling overhead, a dream of almost lovely dreams, an airy miracle overspread with veils of silvery tissue spun of ice and mist and snow and sun, a dazzle of all lights in one. I watch till tall towering there through brightening air, such special splendor does it wear, it seems the sun's own citadel, at sight whereof my lips grow dumb with joy I find no voice to tell. So stricken silent, as with some deep gladness of o'ermastering spell, nor any song of mine may dare to follow where the summit's utmost radiant peak, bright as God's chosen cherubim, soars through the smiling sky to seek and fearless front the face of Him. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Little Sister by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Dana Trey. mymagicbookshelf.blogspot.com. Along the street a tiny pair of childish figures lately went. The boy's face wore a fearless air, the little sister's sweet content. He closely clasped her chubby hand and led her through the throng, while she seemed perfectly to understand he would protect her loyally. And as I watched them pass from sight, my heart began to ache, for so I held my brother's fingers tight and toddled down the long ago. Then all at once, beyond control, the tears uprose in blinding rain. Such hopeless yearning stirred my soul to lay my hand on his again. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Sea Gardens of Santa Catalina by Evaleen Stein. Read for LibriVox.org by Larry Wilson. Lightly let the boat go drifting, neither hand nor oar uplifting. Let no motion fret the ocean, and no sail be now unfurled. Stranger than Aladdin's story, lo, the dream surpassing glory, and the marvel unimagined of the limpid underworld. Gaze within the magic mirror of the water, crystal clearer than the gleaming glass enchanted, made by Merlin's sorcery, and behold the secrets hidden through the ages, till unbidden sons of men came sailing, sailing down the blue Pacific Sea. See the pearl encrusted portals of the caverns wherein mortals dare not pierce with earthly vision, dare not fare with feet profane. Coral columned halls with golden thrones in emerald deep withholden, lit with sparkling amber splendor, where the merry mermen reign. See the long kelp banners flying from their gardens, underlying all the rare, transparent surface of this sunny southern sea. Grasses shot with silver spangles, wreathed and caught in starry tangles of the purple ocean pansy and the fringed anemone. And the brilliant seaweeds scattered like a gay mosaic, shattered in a million shining fragments over all the ocean floor. While the bright hued fish go darting in swift journeys, meeting, parting, weaving gold and scarlet patterns through the water evermore. Through the light that throbs and quivers down the depths, and breaks and shivers into splintered flakes of brightness, that so melt and interfuse into all such strangest ranges of translucent color changes, that the eye is thrilled, bewildered with their rare, enchanting hues. Ah, would thus upon the gleaming southern sea, in happy dreaming, we might drift and drift forever, never shoreward guide the keel. Azure skies forever smiling into visions sweet beguiling, and beneath our boat the splendor of those rosy dreams made real. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. End of Among the Trees again by Evaleen Stein.